Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking the best shooting guards in NBA 2K23 MyTEAM here on this tier list. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 9,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day and would really appreciate it if you do subscribe if you haven't already to help me push towards that mark. Also, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of the shooting guard position right now in MyTEAM. Who are your favorite shooting guards? Who are you running in MyTEAM? And let me know what you think of this list as well. As y'all can see, it's a little bit limited, only 22 cards on this list or something along those lines, so there may be a couple cards left out that you like at the shooting guard position. Feel free to leave a comment about that as well, and let me know what you want or who you would like my opinion on, I guess, at the shooting guard position. But without further ado, let's hop right into it. Let's start off with John Havlicek. I know he's got an Evo and he goes to Opal, but he's just not good even as an Opal. This is one of the worst cards on this list for sure. And honestly, the shooting guard position is pretty good in general. Like, none of these cards are really terrible, so it's going to be tough to put some of these guys in the lower tiers. But even as an Opal, his stats and badges are pretty mediocre. I mean, Hoff Clamps, Hoff Glove is nice. Defensive stats are really solid, but he doesn't have incredible speed. He's got good shooting, but not great slashing. His movement is horrible though, and that's really what hurts the card, is that he moves very, very poorly, and he's undersized at the shooting guard position. And considering how strong the shooting guard position is right now, I think he's legitimately one of the worst couple cards on this tier list, and I think D tier is fair. I'm going to put Allen Houston in the C tier. He's a very good shooter. He's solid. Doesn't do anything insanely well though outside of shoot the ball. He's 6'6". He's got a decent speed, decent defense, good shooter, like I said, but like playmaking, defense, finishing, all that stuff is relatively mediocre. Really good release though. I think he is a very solid shooter though, and I think C tier is fair. I'm actually going to put Clyde. I'm tempted to put Clyde in the C tier. I may end up moving him down, but for now I think we will leave him in the B tier. Release is decent, really good slasher, very mediocre defender. He was never even all that amazing when he first came out, in my opinion, but he's not a horrible card, so I think B tier is fair. DeMar honestly is borderline C tier 2 to me. Like, I think he's not a great defensive card. He's a very good slasher, but he doesn't move incredibly well. His release is good, but it's not next level like it's been in previous years. He's not insane. He's okay, but I think B tier is probably fair still for DeMar. I will move him up because he gives you a little bit more versatility attacking the rim than a guy like Allen Houston. So I think B tier is still fair. We're going to put Devin Booker in C tier. Booker is an incredible shooter who does very little else at a high level on the court. So incredibly knockdown, but a little bit limited outside of his shooting ability to do much else for you on the court. So for me, I still think C tier is a fair way to go for Devin Booker. And then Eddie Jones, I'm going to move up into the B tier as well. Really, really good defender. He's got a fast release. He moves solidly. He's a very solid slasher. I like this card a lot. Even as a diamond, I think he's one of the better shooting guards we've looked at so far. And I think he might actually be the best one we've looked at so far. So we're going to put him high B tier. George Garvin's going to go C tier. Really good budget shooting guard, but compared to the best ones in the game, again, he's just missing some things. Not next level good at the shooting guard position, but he is, again, very, very solid, and I don't think he's a bad card by any means. Now, I'm going to move Grant Hill to the A tier. I don't think he's quite S tier because he doesn't move that great, but he's a good defender, a very good slasher, and has a solid release. Definitely a card that I am a fan of at the shooting guard position. Great size as well. Think he's really, really good. Jerry Stackhouse is a new card. I'm recording this Friday morning before I go out of town, so y'all aren't going to see it till Sunday, but I'm recording it a couple days before. But Jerry Stackhouse is a new card that just came out this morning. Fast twitch, limitless takeoff, and posterizer on Hoff, as well as guard up. Really solid defender. He's got good speed, good shooting, very good dunking. Does not move great, and he doesn't have incredible defensive badges, normal dribble style, but he's got a good release. I think he's going to be pretty solid. I'm not sure where he goes in terms of A to B tier, but he's between those two tiers. I think he's going to be pretty darn solid, especially offensively. I think he's going to be a pretty good card. Jimmy Buckets, I'm also going to put in the A tier, and some of y'all might be like, I think some of y'all might be surprised that I'm not putting Jimmy in S tier, but I just don't think he's a top 3 to 4 shooting guard in the game. He might be the 4th best shooting guard in the game, which might wind up moving him up to the last spot in S tier, but I don't think he's next level amazing, to be completely honest at this point, especially since his release is a bit mediocre. So I am going to put him in the A tier. Definitely going to put Dr. J in S tier. He's the best shooting guard in the game right now. This card is incredible, amazing release, moves really well, amazing all around badges, great defender, great player build. He is really good. Chris Middleton's going to go D tier for me. Just slow release, doesn't do a ton else on the court. At the shooting guard position, being as good as it is at this point, I just can't put him higher than D tier. Honestly, same thing with Clay. Just mediocre release, doesn't do anything else super well on the court. Now, he is a very solid defender. I know he and Middleton both have Hoff clamps, but it's just they don't do enough for me, in all honesty, because of their having mediocre releases and not being able to create their own shot on the offensive end. But all three of these guys in D tier, I know they all got Hoff clamps, but they don't do enough offensively and still don't have great defensive animations. So hard for me to put them higher than D tier. Gonna put Kobe at S tier. Still an amazing release. The other Pink Diamond Kobe would go S tier as well. They're basically the same cards, like one Hall of Fame badge difference and a couple of stats. But Kobe's obviously incredible, amazing release, really good defender, super athletic, good slasher, moves pretty well. Very solid card. Michael Jordan. I think MJ goes A tier. I'll be completely honest. I understand that he's a Galaxy Opal, he's a brand new card and all that stuff, but his release is still slow and he still doesn't move that well. And he doesn't have a normal leaner. Now, SIGs are pretty good. MJ dribble style, a little behind the back is very good, but doesn't have normal leaner. Shooting badges, I mean, no limitless range, but outside of that, they're good. Finishing badges are really good. He's got Hoff Clamp Breaker, quick first step, gold anchor, Hoff Clamps challenge. He's got a lot of things going for him at a super high level. Amazing all around stats. Some of the best of any shooting guard in the game, but the release is slow and I think that hurts him a little bit. Now, with that being said, I still think he is probably going to be the fourth best shooting guard in the game, so I will wind up moving him up to the S tier, but I still think he's a bit limited at this point. So he's bottom of S tier for me. I think he's the fourth best shooting guard, but I will still put him in the S tier for now. Release does hold him back a little bit, but outside of release, he is really good in every other area. But Mike Miller's going to go C tier, kind of similarly to Devin Booker. Amazing release. Doesn't do anything else at a super high level, but he is a knockdown jump shooter. I did a gameplay with this card if y'all want to check him out. He is a beast for the budget players out there. Ray Allen, similarly to these other guys, I mean, I think C tier is fair. He doesn't do anything at a stupidly high level, to be honest. He's a really good shooter, but everything else is kind of mediocre. I think he's good. I don't think he's next level great. I think he's just a better version of Allen Houston, to be honest. Better slasher than Allen, but he's not insane. I mean, he's okay. We're going to put Ricky Davis in the S tier. Amazing card. I think he's the third best shooting guard in the game after Kobe and Dr. J. Offensively, he might be the best shooting guard in the game because of his movement, but defensively, he's not next level elite, which does hurt him a little bit. But going to put Ron Artest in A tier. Amazing defensive card. Really good release as well and moves pretty well. Pretty solid slasher. I think Artest is one of the more underrated shooting guards in the game at this point, and I think he's a pretty definite A tier for me. Steve Smith, in all honesty, probably goes D tier. Really good release, but again, he doesn't do a ton of things at a super high level outside of the release. He's not super fast. He's an average but not next level defender. He's an average but not next level slasher. He is a very good shooter with solid shooting badges, but again, I don't think he does anything crazy at a crazy high level, so I think D tier is probably fair. Gonna put T-Mac in the B tier as well, or I'm sorry, the A tier as well. I think he's very good again, but I don't think he's like, his release isn't as good as it's been the last couple of years. He moves well, but he doesn't move incredibly well. He doesn't get open super effectively, I don't feel like. And he's not a great defender either. Like, T-Mac cards, kind of like Kawhi and a couple other guys this year, just aren't to the level of what they've been in previous years. So at this point, for now anyway, Pink Diamond T-Mac doesn't go higher than A tier. And then finally, we got Wally Szczerbiak, who I actually do believe is a very solid card. But again, I think I have to go C tier. And I know I have more C tiers than any other position. I'm going to move Ray Allen up. I think he probably deserves it. I think he's the most complete of the cards in C tier. But Wally Szczerbiak is another guy with an amazing release who shoots the ball at a super high level, has the normal fade. As a trophy case player, you can get every badge and stat upgraded, but he's still not incredible defensively. He doesn't have insane size. He's not an amazing slasher, but really good shooter. Again, shoots at a ridiculously high level and can do a few other things at a high level as well, MJ dribble style. So I think Wally's a pretty solid card, and I think he's one of the better guys in C tier. So this is going to be my list of the best shooting guards in my team currently, though, ranked on this tier list. Let me know what you think of my list down in the comment section down below. If there's any shooting guards that I'd left off the list that you'd like to hear my opinion on as well, feel free to leave a comment about those guys, and I'll let you know what I think. And if you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.